our Instagram and our official X account. So we're about to bring on our speaker, but until we do that, we want to go over some stats with you. Again, we are a nonprofit, and there's that saying, we give until it hurts. We've had 63 sessions so far with 98 guest speakers. I think that makes Nancy our 98th. We've had 263 members who've landed jobs and 2,600 plus members on LinkedIn, and that is still going up. Here's some more stats on our dashboard. The members total is 2,609. The LinkedIn company followers, that's the AHF LinkedIn page, that's 1,066. Community members, we have 130. YouTube followers, 159. Instagram, 82. X, 25. Facebook, 37. And TikTok, 1. We need to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. I know nothing really about TikTok, and I probably need to learn. So maybe that's something that I could focus on too. Okay, well, without further ado, Nancy Pitts, we would like to introduce you. Thank you so much for coming in today. We know you have a lot to discuss and a lot to go over. And I was talking to Nancy just a little bit prior. She's up in Boston right now, but she's been down in my neck of the woods, and we were talking about the beauty of the Low Country and its sort of incomparable culture down there. And she is an absolute delight. So I'm going to open up the floor to her. Madam, you take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet everyone. Great to be here. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. I've been a part of 4 different startups. 3 of the startups I had a stake in. I was a stakeholder in. And my background is primarily in operations. I love running things. So I've been a facilitator of operations. I've been a director of operations and also a COO. The areas that I've focused on, primarily e-commerce and digital marketing, but I also have a background in real estate investing and property management. And I've hired and trained a lot of people. And so I was asked to bring a tip or some kind of information that might be new. And the one thing that really popped into my head was related to interviewing. For me, when I interview people, I found that within the first 10 or 15 minutes, I know if I want to keep talking to you and if you're someone that I think would be a good fit for the position, or if it's just not going to be. When I go into an interview, I have characteristics in mind of the kind of person I think would really thrive in a role, because it's tremendously important when you're hiring to get the right person in place. And when I meet with people, I would say that there are things to me that immediately tell me not for me. And to the point where I used to have the 30-minute initial interviews and I changed them to like a 15-minute meet and greet, just so I could meet a bunch of different people to get a feel for them, to see if I felt like I wanted to continue on and learn more. So I can share with you some of the things that people do in interviews that to me are kind of red flags that tell me they probably wouldn't be a good fit. And also some of the things that people do that make me want to learn more about them. So when I meet someone and they come on camera, because I do video interviews, as I'm sure most of you are doing, very few are in person anymore. One of the things is if someone is a good listener. So I've had interviews where people talk so much that they talk over me, interrupt me, and sometimes you get that crossover and that's fine, but there's no apology or recognition that they're talking over me. And then there's also just paying attention, like if I ask a question, they hear what I'm asking and answer the things that I'm specifically asking for. And the other thing is, one of the good sides is if somebody really is articulate in sharing with me their background and experience, like they really are able to concisely tell me who they are and what makes them special and how their skills apply to the job. If I'm speaking to someone about a role and they don't know anything about the company, they haven't done any research at all, they've never even visited the website of the business, that tells me that they're not terribly interested. I'm looking for people that really want to understand the role and the business and be on their game. And it doesn't really matter the level of the position for that one. That's across the board. Um, but I'm looking for people that are engaging, and it doesn't bother me if someone's nervous. I expect that a lot of people will be nervous in an interview. It's a nerve-wracking thing. So a lot of times if I can see someone's particularly nervous, I'll ask them to just take a deep breath and say, we're just two people talking. I just want to get to know you. And I would suggest that, if you get nervous with interviews, try to think about it that it's just you learning about this company to see if they're a right fit for you, and they're just trying to meet you to see if you're a right fit for them. A lot of times it takes a while to get an interview, so each one is significant when you're looking for work. But if the interviewer can really get to know you and understand your background, because they're going off a piece of paper, and apparently your skills match what they're looking for because you got the interview. So what they're really trying to understand is, will you fit into the corporate culture? Can you communicate well? Will you work well with other people? Are you a good listener? And does your background, really match your resume? Because you really can't tell everything from a resume. It's just a snapshot of who a person is. So to me, when you go into an interview, you should really focus on, how you can share things about yourself that really show the interviewer who you are as a person, because that's really what they're looking to find out in an interview is, your personality and how you will blend into their organization. And I've had people that I've interviewed that say where it was a leadership position, which to me means you really have to take a bit of command in an interview, not bulldoze, but show me your confidence and, really engage in conversation. I've had people that were tremendously introverted and shy in those kinds of interviews. And I recognize that maybe that leadership role might not be best for them, but I've kept them in mind for other things because I felt like they were talented. And you don't have to be extroverted in every single role. There are lots of different roles for introverted types of people. So just because you don't fit into one specific mold doesn't mean you won't be considered for a job. I think it's really important that you be true to who you are. And then that way you find your right role and that it will be a good match, because a good match is what everybody wants. It costs a company a lot of money to train someone and put them in a place for them to leave because they don't feel like it's a good fit, or they have to let you go because you're not the right person. So that's my biggest suggestion, is just present yourself authentically and be who you are, and your right role will come ultimately. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask?
Yeah, if that's all you have on the front end of it, then we will
Yeah.
open the floor to questions. Anybody and everybody, feel free, raise your hand, and we'll start giving Nancy some